So I recently posted this on X and people loved it. I asked if people want tutorial and everyone said yeah. So I decided to make a short video explaining how exactly I did this. Of course, I will not explain all the details because it will take an hour, but I will go over all the major steps. Before I continue, I'm gonna do a little self-promo. I'm starting to offer to various startups and products in general to create this type of videos for them. If you go to my bio link, you can see here's the 2 examples that I've created for my own product, and I can do the same for any other products as well. So if you need a video like this, just contact me. Let's get into the tutorial. So the first thing we need is Claude Design, and here there are 2 ways you can do this. You can either create the whole design in Claude, or you can already use an existing design. I wanted to use an existing design, so what I did basically, you have to select here product prototype, and then after this you actually have to create a sketch. So I would go to all project files and I will click here new sketch. So sketch lets you actually import a few screenshots and then tell Claude Design exactly how they interact with each other. So here's my sketch that I used, and as you can see I imported here first screen, and then I put an arrow, imported second screen, and then I also put an arrow and imported the last final screen. Like this, Claude will understand how to actually prototype the screens together. But of course, you still need to explain it. So basically, in chat, as you can see, as soon as you create the sketch, it will be already attached here, as you can see. And now you basically need to explain how all the screens are connected. So in my case, I said I have 3 screens on the sketch, and I explain in details what needs to happen when people click on the search field, then what are the 3 tutorial steps here, 1, 2, 3, and so on. So you need to be as detailed as possible to make this look good. Just spend some time and do this properly. I also select here my Superbird design system so that it follows exactly the guidelines. And according to my description, here's the prototype it created. I can click here, I can click find posts, and I can look here all the 3 steps. So basically it also created the second step animation and also third step animation by itself. I didn't have it in my design, so that's nice. And then I click show my post and it showed me this. So of course, as you can see, it's not 100% like in my design, but it is very close. Once we have this, we have to copy the link to this project, and then we need to go back to the home page, and here I'm going to select animation. The reason why we copied the link is because we can paste it here and Claude will understand that it needs to use this prototype. So I will show my existing chat, and I said use this Claude Design project, and I pasted the link. I explained what is that it is a prototype. I explained what things I need, what things I don't need from the prototype, because in the prototype we have a lot of things that we don't really need in the video. For example, I don't need the left menu here. Or if I click find post, there are some text elements that I don't need here, and the idea is to keep the video as minimal as possible. And you need to explain exactly what you want. Like, it cannot read your mind. Imagine that you're talking to an actual person who is going to design your video, and you need to give them exact steps of how you want this to work. The more detailed, the better. Also, for example, you see here there's this illustration. Claude actually created this for me in another project. It's an animated illustration, and in that project I have multiple animated illustrations. So I also told it that I want to use our logo as well as animated illustrations from this Claude Design project, and I put the link to the project. And like this, Claude can understand that it should go and grab the animated illustrations from that project. And of course, I explain everything step by step. So this was my first prompt, and then this was my second prompt because I asked it to edit some stuff. The video was too long. I asked it to remove some text or change some text, and let's see, boom. So as you can see, it took me only 2 prompts to create this thing. Let's have a look. So this is looks nice, right? And all the animations that you see here, I actually asked Claude to do that. Some not very detailed, some very detailed. So for example, here when it is zooming in, let's see. So this part, I specifically asked Claude to zoom into that part. Another thing is I specifically asked Claude to add this frame in the background. So you need to imagine it in your head and explain what you want. Otherwise, it won't do a good job. Or here's this progress score. I also asked Claude to add this. Or this animation here. It is actually the animated illustrations that it pulled from my another project. So you need to combine all of these things. The only issue is that once you have this video, I need to download it as a project archive. because there's no option to export it as a video. But then if you do this, you probably need to run this in some coding ID to basically use some plugins to convert this into MP4 and so on. So I didn't want to do this, of course, and I basically just took a screen recording of the video. Once you have the video, the second step here is to use this thing called Shots. So let me show you what exactly it does. I uploaded my media here, which is this video, and the thing is that here you can select multiple frames. For example, as you can see, my video is in this browser frame, but you can also select iPhones if you want. I don't know, you can select MacBooks and other stuff. And there are lots of design options here. You can customize the shadow, the color of the browser. If we go to frame, you can select here what type of background you want for your frame. And I won't go into details, but there are a lot of options here. One of the things that I really like here, there's like animated background, which makes your video looks really nice. So the more important part here is actually the fact that you can move your canvas. You see it zooms in, or it now goes a little bit to the right. And the way to do this is you can click here plus, and when you add an animation, you can control exactly how you want it to move. So I will click on this one. And here I can see zoom and I can see tilt. What this means is, so when this animation is getting started, as you can see, zoom in, so it kind of understands how much it needs to zoom in. So I can make it zoom in further or not that much. I can also tilt it. If I click on tilt, I can make it rotate. And then also if I zoom it out, you can see we already have this type of rotated video. And if I just play this, boom, it's going to rotate. And that's how you approach each frame here, each animation. You kind of control, how much zoom you want, how much rotation you want. And like this, it smoothly moves between those animated states. And here, as you can see, I created this type of zoom in where it zooms in, and also the frame is getting tilted like this. And once you have all of this here, you can export it as a video. Of course, you don't have to take a screenshot, but also I think I'm on a pro plan here. And if you're on a free plan, you're probably limited with export quality. And the last step in my video was to add the audio. And for this, I used another software called Filmora, but you can use any software to add a music and some sounds. That's it basically. That's it guys. Make sure to check out my product toolbar.io if you want to grow on Leaks, and very soon on all the other social media platforms as well, not on Leaks. Bye bye.